One of the things I often talk about on this channel is media bias. And what that ends up doing is kind of skewing the things that I cover to fill in the gaps. So people might say, hey, how come you're covering all of this and you're not covering that? Generally because lamestream, alt media, old legacy media has already covered it and lied all over the place. Now, these type of events I have covered, regardless of who it is in the past. And this one in particular is pretty curious because pretty much nobody in the mainstream media is talking about it. Sure, local media is in Texas, but for the most part, this one was barely a blip on the radar. And I will tell you why. It's because of the person who did it. Just like when somebody who does this, anytime somebody who does something heinous like this doesn't fit the media narrative, you know, anytime they don't have a red MAGA hat on while they do it, the media doesn't care. And so that is the opportunity for new media like myself to step in and cover it. You probably didn't hear about this, but just a few days ago, or just a day ago, an individual walked in, was led into the building by another student into a high school, and indiscriminately took out about 5 people. And I'm telling you right now, there is a reason this was not covered. I'm not going to say that, I still think that like acne, pimply-faced white dudes are definitely still leading the category of, this particular horrible crime. But the reason you didn't hear about it is because this was the individual who did it. Walked into a school, sprayed indiscriminately, hit at least 4 people, and then walked up to another and then took them out at point blank. Leave a like on the video if you didn't see this on CNN, if you didn't see this on MSNBC. And given that anytime I cover this kind of thing, YouTube, sticks it to me, I do want to give 1 second before I get into this. I remind people to pick up their Mother's Day gift box over on Amazon. It supports the channel directly. Really, really could use your help to start out strong on sales. And once you get yours, please come back, scroll down, and leave a verified review after you've purchased it. Order it today, get it today or tomorrow, then definitely leave a review. We need a couple hundred before real, normies and Mother's Day buyers start buying, and that'll probably be in a week. An individual came into a Texas high school yesterday, was let in by another student, according to an arrest affidavit. Now, was that student involved? Was this some sort of hit? Obviously, I think it's fair to consider that this was some sort of gang-related thing, or it was certainly targeted, it seems like. Surveillance footage obtained by CBS News captured the moment that he entered the school hallway. He was let in by another student using an unsecured door just after 1 p.m., according to his arrest affidavit. Haynes then approached one student, appeared to take him out, and then 5 others between 15 and 18 were hit via indiscriminate firing. The suspect then turned himself in to authorities later on Tuesday and was booked and being held on just $600,000 bond. That's less than Carmelo. That's actually wild to me. And what's interesting is apparently this was over a dice game, allegedly. First responders were called to the scene at 1 o'clock after the threat had ended, but a helicopter footage showed heavy police presence around the school. An 11th grade student told NBC DFW that it was a dispute over a dice game that led to the incident. A dice game. How much money could be spent or lost in a dice game at high school? At a high school dice game, I want to know how much money was really on the line here. $50? This dude tried to take the lives of 6 people over a dice game, allegedly. We were in class, saw him walk by, and then 2 seconds later, I heard like 6 pops, and the teacher ran to the door and closed us and told us to hide in the corner. The students said that they heard him because it was loud, because it was right in front of the classroom. Everyone just started running. The girl next to me started falling down. She added that the school's metal detectors were working that day, raising questions about how that they even got into school grounds. Harrowing images have been circulating of students fleeing for their lives on a local road and across the school's field towards a different stadium. By 1:45, the threat was reportedly ended. And curiously, this guy was taken alive, too. You know, a lot of people probably surprised by that. In fact, he just turned himself in. Another student, a senior, claimed to be even closer to the event. It was really scary. I was panicking really bad. It was bad. I was really afraid. Of course, that's a normal response. I was in the cafeteria getting my lunch. I thought maybe some balloons were popping or something from my AirPods, so I saw a whole lot of kids running the opposite way. Latara Dobbin, a mother of a freshman boy, said her son jumped out of his classroom window when everything started. This is going on too much at this school. Last year, my oldest son was a senior here, and there was another incident. Now it's the same thing going on. It's ridiculous. One student was injured in the event that took place in that classroom at the same school last year. Superintendent Stephanie Elizadale gave a news conference just after 5 and explained that all students had been reunited with their parents. School will be canceled for the rest of the week, adding that mental health counselors will be available. You don't ever get used to this. I'm very aware of that. I mean, who's the accomplice that let this cat in, by the way? Apparently someone that wasn't able to run, he also allegedly just walked right up to him and took him out. Several questions still remain after the incident. At least 4 people were hit during the incident. Let's see. By the way, the 17-year-old later identified as Tracy Haynes was booked late Tuesday night into Dallas County Jail at 9:30 p.m. and facing the appropriate charges. According to the arrest affidavit, he was seen on surveillance footage entering the school through an unsecured door. After an unidentified student opened it for him, Haynes then walked through in the hallways until he spotted several students. Haynes then displayed his tool of the trade and opened fire indiscriminately, striking 5 people before approaching a single student who was not able to run and taking them out at point blank distance. This is over a dice game, allegedly. A dice game. A high school dice game. This kid's life is ruined. Obviously, he'll spend the rest of his life in jail, hopefully. This is bonkers, and no one covered it. No one covered it, because why would they? Tuesday, that 3 students between the ages of 15 and 18 have confirmed to have been injured, while a 4th person who is not known suffered a musculoskeletal injury. I don't know. So they broke their leg or something like that, trying to run away or something, I assume. And a 5th, a girl who was taken to the hospital after the incident that occurred barely a year after another incident at the very same school. Monday after the incident, multiple students said at the time that the school's metal detectors are not regularly used and that the school does not consistently enforce its clear bag policies. Both points of frustration. Well, neither case would have protected this. Neither of those tools would have prevented this. This is the thing. Unless you have only one entrance and one exit to a school, or you have 2 maybe, and you keep them heavily secured, heavily protected, this is going to continue to happen. Again, Monday after the incident, many questions still remain. As Jones walked away from the stadium with her family, she said she didn't know how to feel. It's not safe to go to school, she said. I wouldn't even recommend going to this school because we don't have good security. Danielle Curtis' daughter was scrolling on her phone Tuesday afternoon when she turned to another and said, "Oh no, another incident." It's wild to me that this kind of stuff... Look, people of all races do but only one of them gets covered. We saw basically, and it's actually only one gender gets covered too, by the way. And as I'm recording this right now, there's another incident going on at Florida State University near the student union. Goodness. Here we go. FSU student has there's an active incident at Florida State University right now. Is this going to be is this going to be just a regular thing in America now? Mental health, obviously, I think you can break this down to kind of two main categories: mental health and low impulse control. Mental health covers probably 50% of these incidents. And then, the type of people willing to do this over a little league game or a dice game or whatever probably covers the other chunk of this. Only one of these particular incidents ever seemed to be covered. I'll be covering the Florida State University thing as it breaks. We'll see if there's more information there. I'm literally looking right now. Looks like another disagreement. I mean, I don't know. Reporters on the scene. At least 4 people hospitalized. University sent a note urging students to seek shelter as. So this is another terrible situation. It's just so tiresome. What's going on at Florida State University? We'll have to wait and see, I guess. But it's just so messed up. They need to get armed guards at these schools, and they need to control the entrances. They're just too soft of targets. I hope you're informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it if you haven't yet. Follow or subscribe down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.